Does an ending to a manga or to an anime or heck, even a light novel ruin a series? Does a bad ending ruin a series? Well, I'm here to pretty much give you guys my honest thought on it. But before we actually do that, make sure to of course go ahead and leave a like, and of course go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because here on the channel I pretty much talk about anime and manga weekly. I am planning to start uploading videos daily if I can. Like, if you notice in my recent upload schedule, I am trying to upload it daily. But hopefully this video is actually going to be posted today, not tomorrow or next week. But it will all depend on my time schedule. And speaking of time schedule, guys, if you are subscribed, or if you guys want to subscribe, just go ahead and do that, because here on the channel, like I said, I talk about anime and manga, and of course you guys can give me your suggestions of what you guys want me to cover next. Like, you guys can give me a suggestion for an anime or a manga series that you want me to cover, and who knows, maybe my next video will actually be the anime or manga that you recommend. But yeah, now let's carry on the topic of this video. So, in the endings of a manga, anime, light novel, you get the point. The bad endings, right? See, the thing is that when it comes to bad endings, I can understand why a lot of people would get annoyed with it, especially if you have been following a series for such a long time. Like, let's look at the fans who, followed Demon Slayer ever since the beginning of the story. Let's look at the fans that followed Bleach, that followed Attack on Titan, that followed Promised Neverland. These are just examples of really amazing stories that had bad endings, right? Fans weren't left happy. They were left disappointed with its ending, either because the ending was rushed, either because the ending wasn't able to meet their standards, or because endings didn't really make that much sense, right? These endings, made fans really mad and started saying that, yeah, this ending ruined the entire series for me. And like I said, I can understand if you haven't been following a series for such a long time. Like, heck, Black Clover. Like, Black Clover is the series that I've been following pretty much ever since the beginning. And no, I'm not talking about the beginning of the anime. No, I'm talking about the beginning of the manga. Right? I'm talking about the beginning of the manga. I started reading Black Clover ever since the beginning. It was the first chapter. I saw the hate from the manga, I saw the hate from the anime, and I still am here to this day, still supporting Black Clover, and I still love this series. And if this series gets a bad ending, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be pretty annoyed as well, because like, I've been following this series for such a long time, and having a bad ending, it wouldn't be great, right? I wouldn't really like it, but at the same time, you got to understand that, yes, an ending is bad, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about and series are great, right? These series are all great. Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Promised Neverland, Bleach. Like, these series are really great. It's just that the endings weren't well executed, leaving fans annoyed. And honestly, even if an ending is bad, if you really go back and see the previous, moments of Bleach, the previous arcs of Demon Slayer, the previous arcs of Promised Neverland, previous arcs of Attack on Titan, all these arcs, like previous arcs, were all great. Like, I still remember seeing all these great arcs from these series, right, that I still hold dear to my heart. Like, these arcs are really great, and I still love the series, and I remember the series because of these arcs, not because of its ending. And yes, like I said, I understand an ending can ruin a series for you, because if you've been following a series for such a long time, having a bad ending is not good, because you had a ton of expectations, a ton of anticipation, and then it got thrown out the window, right? That is bad. But to say that an ending ruined the entire series, no, it doesn't ruin the entire series, because like I said, even if an ending is bad, you can still go back and reread the series. You can still go back and rewatch the anime. You can still go back and reread the light novel, right? Understand me? Like, you can still go back and reread it or rewatch the series, and you're still going to enjoy it, right? Because you love the series, right? You go back to beginnings of Bleach, amazing arcs like we had the Soul Society. Like even though I know the ending of the Bleach series, if I go back to Soul Society arc, I'm gonna be like, holy cow, this was amazing. I want to watch it again because this is amazing, right? Look at Demon Slayer, like pretty much every arc up until the ending was amazing. Look at Attack on Titan. I still hold the first season of Attack on Titan, the first arcs of Attack on Titan, dear to my heart. I think that they're one of the best arcs in Shonen Jump, right? And I really like those arcs. And even though I know what's gonna happen at the end, I still like those arcs a lot, and I still remember them. These series, I won't remember them from the ending. Yes, when I talk about these series and stuff like that, yeah, the ending does cross my mind. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I normally think about the best moments of a series. I don't think about the ending, okay? I don't think about the ending because the ending is just a conclusion to a story, right? And if you disregard the ending of the story, you can, like I said, you can still look back at the amazing moments of the series and still hold it in high regard, okay? This is what I'm saying, like, endings of a manga, endings of a series doesn't really, you know, ruin the series for you. It doesn't really do that. Yes, it can leave you annoyed with its ending, especially if you're rereading or rewatching the series and then you remember the ending, which you can be like, oh damn, like I'm reading this, I'm watching this again, and just remembering the ending, like it left me bad. Like I was bad. Well, if you didn't really like the ending, just read or watch everything until you know it gets to the point where it's almost close to the ending, and then think of your own ending, right? Like just have your own imagination of an ending for that said series, and just go with it. Like just go with it, because if you don't like the ending, the entire series is not at fault, right? The entire series has a bunch of amazing arcs, just that the ending is the worst arc, right? Understand me? Like the series do not get ruined just because of its ending. And I'm pretty much gonna shut up right now because I think that I've said enough. Now, if you guys still disagree with me and say, "Oh, even though you said all that, I still think that the ending ruined the entire series for me," well, cool, good for you, right? That means that you're not a true fan. Okay, that pretty much means that you're not a true fan of these series, because if you think that just the ending ruined the entire series for you, man, you're not a true fan. Because if you're a true fan like me, you can be like, yeah, the ending was bad, but hey, do you remember in Soul Society when Ichigo fought up against Byakuya? Hey, do you remember in Demon Slayer when Tanjiro fought up against one of the moons? Hey, do you remember when Eren transformed into the Titan for the first time? Do you remember when Emma and the rest left the orphanage? Do you remember that? Like, these are all moments that people are gonna remember because they are amazing fans of the story, not the ending, right? Sure, the ending can cross your mind and be like, damn it, the ending was bad. But yeah, like, yes, the ending was bad, but the whole series was amazing, right? And this is what I'm saying, the ending does not ruin a series, right? It's just an ending to a story. Every story has to have its conclusion. Whether you like the conclusion or not, we have to accept it, right? We have to accept these endings because it's not us who wrote it. It's not us to decide. It's the authors who created the series to decide, right? Because they're the ones who created the series for us to read or for us to watch. So we have to accept the ending of a story. Whether we like it or hate it, we have to accept it and look back on the amazing moments of a series. Because that's pretty much what every author tries to do. They always try to, like we notice in every series has really amazing arcs. Why is that? The reason is because they want to be remembered. The authors want series, like their arcs, the previous arcs before the ending, to be remembered by many. To be like, damn, this arc is good. Like, I still remember this arc from 20 years ago to this day, right? Like, let's look at Berserk. I remember all of the arcs of Berserk when I first read it, right? Like I said, like, these are arcs that, like, the ending of the series is not ruined. It's not ruined just because of an ending, right? A series is not ruined because of an ending. It's just in conclusion to a story. But yeah, I'm pretty much gonna end it here. Hopefully you guys did, enjoy this video. And like I said, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.